Hello, namaskaram, namaskar. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class, The Daily Current Affairs. If you're new to this class, I would like to just inform you a bit about it. What do we do here? First, we select those information news which are important from the UPSC examination, curate them, formulate questions which are not going to be important only when it comes to the test of knowledge or conceptual clarity, but also skills. Prelims has become more skill oriented. So we have to develop skills for UPSC Preliminary Examination 2024. Please watch this class on a daily basis and do not try to make notes. Why do I say this? Because I provide you the PDF on a daily basis on my Telegram channel. This Telegram channel is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. You can follow me there, subscribe to me there. Other than that, if you have any doubts about anything with respect to the UPSC examination, you can talk to me on my Instagram as well. Moving on. These are the various events that we have to cover. First, let's look at this question. This question pertains to defamation. So we have to consider the statements with respect to defamation. Section 499 of the Indian Penal Code 1860 defines what is defamation and its exceptions. Second statement says, under the criminal law, defamation is a bailable, non-cognizable offense and non-compoundable offense. The punishment for criminal defamation is a simple imprisonment of up to 2 years or fine or both. Now, what do we have to see? We have to see the correct statements. Pick out the correct statements. How many of them are there? See, defamation falls into two categories: civil defamation and criminal defamation. Section 499 of the IPC tells in detail about defamation and what are the 10 exceptions to defamation. So the first statement is definitely correct. Second statement is actually incorrect. Why? Because although it is a bailable offense, that means bail can be granted, it is a non-cognizable offense. That means the inquiry against the alleged person will be initiated only after magisterial orders. And it is a compoundable offense. That means if X has registered an FIR under criminal defamation against Y, X can take back the FIR. That is compoundable. And that can happen in defamation. In defamation, X can take back the FIR. So it is a compoundable offense, not a non-compoundable offense. Non-compoundable offense can never be settled. They have to be settled in the court only. Okay? So first is correct, second is incorrect. Remember the words bailable, cognizable, compoundable, and the non-ones will be vice versa. The punishment for criminal defamation is a simple imprisonment of up to 2 years or fine or both can also be there. Okay. So first is correct, third is correct, but second is not correct. So how many are correct? 2 only will be the correct answer. The Supreme Court has recently denied to entertain the request of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi for the interim suspension of his conviction in a criminal defamation case. This is all about the defamation against the surname Modi. Okay, and he made certain comments in the 2019 Karnataka rally, and that is why this news is important. What is defamation? Defamation is an act of communicating false statements about a person, not true statements. And these false statements can be done either intentionally or knowingly with the intention of harming the reputation of the person. The reputation of a person is considered as a property. That is why it needs to be safeguarded. And it injures the reputation of that person in the eyes of the ordinary man. If that is happening, then defamation case can be registered. Any false and unprivileged statements, you have to remember the word false. Written defamation, printed or typed material or images, they fall in the category of libel. Okay. And if it is spoken or verbal defamation, then it will be considered as slander. So in Rahul Gandhi's case, it is slander. Article 19 clause 1 subclause A of the Indian Constitution has promised us freedom of speech and expression, but like every other fundamental right, it can be restricted on reasonable grounds under Article 19 clause 2. Defamation is an offense that falls in both the categories of civil and criminal. When it comes to civil law, it falls in the category, it can be dealt with law of torts. And for civil, as for criminal law, it is a bailable, non-cognizable offense and compoundable offense. And an arrest warrant here is issued by a magistrate. Remember that. The Indian Penal Code punishes the offense with a simple imprisonment of up to 2 years or fine or both. Section 499 of the IPC talks about defamation. Words or signs imputed intending to harm or with the knowledge that such imputation will cause harm. Even when it comes to deceased person, if any slander or libel is being made, then defamation under this, the case can be registered. The premise of this is that if the person would have been alive, it would have harmed the reputation of that alive person who is now deceased. So prelims can ask us on this as well, that it cannot be criminal, defamation cannot be against a deceased person. There can be. Moving on. The class of persons shall include company or association. It is no defamation unless, when will it considered a defamation? That means the alleged defamatory statements either directly or indirectly lowers the moral or intellectual character or his respect of his caste or his calling in the estimation of others. So remember this caste. Alright, moving on. Now if you have problems with respect to mapping, I have started the map in new series. And this series, I have already completed 2 classes. The 3rd class is about to come tomorrow. So stay tuned with StudyIQ IAS English for that. Moving on. Consider the following statements. China is the largest producer of rice in the world, followed by Vietnam and India. India is the largest exporter of rice in the world, followed by Thailand. West Bengal is the largest producer of rice in India, followed by Punjab. So what do we have to see? This is completely, you can say, factual in nature. So data-based questions are also very important. First, read the NCERTs, then only move forward with other things. Many students have been asking me, ma'am, should I read NCERTs or completely skip it? Never skip NCERTs. It will cost you your entire year of preparation if you're just relying on standard books. And if you become a part of the P2I batch that is launched from today itself, we have launched our prelims to interview batches from 6 p.m. onwards. We will tell you everything about how to prepare it. It's available in Hindi, English and English. So if you get a participation in the English batch, you can contact me through my Instagram. I will tell you how we will complete it. As in, you're a person of the batch, you're a P2I batch student, you can definitely contact me. I will tell you everything in detail. As in, how do we cover NCERTs, how do we cover everything. So if you're self-preparatory student, if you're a person who is going to prepare by themselves, then do not ever skip NCERTs, please. Sometimes direct questions are handpicked by the UPSC from NCERTs, so don't do that. So how many statements given above is or are correct? See, China is the largest producer of rice in the world. This is correct, but it is not followed by Vietnam. It is followed by India. India is the 2nd largest producer of rice. Also keep in mind when you think about key points. Producer, exporter, consumer, importer. So you have to understand the difference between them. It doesn't mean that if a country is producing the maximum amount of something, then they will be a maximum exporter of that as well. Domestic needs have to be fulfilled or not. So you have to keep in mind accordingly to differentiate between importing, exporting, production, consumption. Okay. So China is the largest producer of rice, correct, which is followed by India. But India is the largest exporter of rice. After fulfilling our domestic demands, we export the surplus and we are followed by Thailand. Okay. So first is incorrect, second is correct. In India, West Bengal is the largest producer of rice in India, which is followed by Uttar Pradesh and then Punjab. Okay. Punjab is also designated as the rice bowl of India. So first, incorrect, second, correct, third is incorrect. Why do I ask these questions? Because UPSC now wants those students who are studying in depth. So if you're just relying on the topmost exporters or topmost in any field, the states or the countries, you might get a question with respect to the top 5. So always remember, keep in mind all these things. They can also ask you about 2nd largest, 3rd largest. Okay. So first, incorrect, second correct, third is incorrect. One only will be the correct answer. Recently, a decision has been made by the government to stop or prohibit the export of non-basmati white rice. And this has come as a shock. Although it is going to fulfill our domestic needs, it can trigger global price rise. Now, if we think about the recent withdrawal by Russia from the Black Sea Grain Treaty, this might not play well in the eyes of the world. Now, as I told you about largest, second largest, we have to keep in mind that China is the largest producer of rice. Then second is India. Third, we have Indonesia. Then fourth is Bangladesh. Fifth is Vietnam. Sixth is Thailand. Thailand is the sixth largest producer, but second largest importer, just after India. Did I say importer? Exporter. Okay. Moving on to the next part, that is the exporting part. As you can see here, India is the largest exporter of rice. Then comes Thailand. Then Vietnam, Pakistan, Burma, that is Myanmar, and China. Moving on. Now, as we talk about the largest producers of rice in our country, it is West Bengal. West Bengal stands at the top. Then we have Uttar Pradesh. Then we have Punjab. Alright, let's move forward. Forward with respect to rice, about certain details of it. Do you know that rice is the most important food crop of not only the world but also of India? And it needs a climatic temperature of 16 to 30 degrees Celsius. Remember that these kind of factual questions can be asked in your UPSC examination. It needs 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall and sowing temperature is 20 to 30 degrees. When it comes to harvest temperature, it should be 16 to 27 degrees Celsius. Remember that because sometimes UPSC can also ask us about harvesting temperature, sowing temperature. You never know. This commission is capable of doing anything. Then soil, what kind of soil is needed? It can grow on almost all types of soils. As you can see, sandy loam to loamy sand. Other than this, silty loam and clay loam, silty to clay loam soils, and with low permeability, which is free of water logging, and also low sodicity. Low sodicity means the presence of sodium cations should be lower as compared to others. Okay. Now, next, consider the following statements with respect to the Jal Jeevan Mission, which was launched in 2019. It is based on a community approach to water. It aims to provide safe and adequate drinking water through individual household tap connections by 2024 to all households in rural India. Grey water management is not a component under it because the Swachh Bharat Gramin deals with grey water management. So what do we have to see? How many statements is or are not correct? This is both conceptual and factual. Just think about the Jal Jeevan Mission. Whenever we are talking about Jal or water, it is all comprehensive. Be it grey water management, cleanliness, sanitation, education, communication. And whenever we think about Jal Jeevan Mission, one thing comes to our mind, that is Jan Andolan. Jan Andolan, here two important key factors are there. To educate and make people aware about the importance of clean water and to communicate the benefits of them. So education and communication are the two key pillars of this particular approach. And this is a Jan Andolan, that means it's a community-based approach. With the help of the people of the community, we will be able to achieve the target under the Jal Jeevan Mission. So first statement under that is definitely correct. Yes, it wants to provide safe and adequate drinking water to all the rural households by the year 2024. As you can see, this is data-based and also concept-based, as in you must know that it is rural, suburban or urban, everything or just rural. Only rural area is covered. So 2024, by then rural India will be covered. Grey water management is actually a component of JJM, Jal Jeevan Mission. Grey water is the clean water. It's semi-clean water which comes from kitchen area, bathroom, sinks, and these after getting filtered and disinfected can be used, unlike black water. So we must know that grey water management is also a big part of it. So third statement is incorrect because here it is written, it is not. First is correct, second is correct, third is not correct. One only will be the correct answer because we had to select the not correct statement. The Jal Shakti Minister has said that more than 12 crore 60 lakh tap connections have been provided to rural households under the JJM. Not only providing taps, but also to check and monitor the functionality of it is also under it. Alright, moving on. This was launched in 2019, the Jal Jeevan Mission. It is under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, and it wants to supply 55 liters of water per person per day. Why am I saying per person per day with such emphasis? Because here it could also be given supply of 55 liters of water per family per day. No, it is per person per day to every rural household with the help of functional household tap connection. That means it's just not a tap like a white elephant kept there, not used. It is functional in nature. By the year 2024 and a Jan Andolan for water, thereby making it everybody's priority. Funding pattern is such that under the scheme, union government takes care of those union territories that does not have a legislative assembly by giving 100% funding. When it comes to other states, it's 50-50. And when it comes to funding of Himalayan states and union territories with state legislature, it is 90:10. 90 will be given by the center and 10% or the 10 in proportion will be given by the state or the union territory with state assemblies. Okay, moving on. Now let's talk about types of water. Clean water is from springs, wells, purified water, city water, rainwater. Grey water is actually used water from kitchens, bathrooms, but they are free of any toxic chemicals or any chemicals that come from factory. But black water is actually contaminated with toxic elements. And as you can see, from kitchen sink, washing machine, bathtub, we put the grey water inlet, filter it, go through the disinfectant and then store it. This is grey water management, recycling of water. With respect to Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendra, Pariyojana, under which we have the Kendras, consider the following statements. The scheme was launched in the year 2014. The medicines under the scheme are procured only from the WHO certified good manufacturing practices certified suppliers. So, which of the statements given above is or are correct? Under this Pariyojana, what happens? That the people, all the people who should be getting universal health coverage, they are rewarded in the form of subsidized medicines. The medicine subsidy can range from 50 to 90%. And this scheme was launched in the year 2008 and not 2014. So first statement is incorrect, but second statement is definitely correct. Here, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendras, they get the medicines or procure the medicines only from WHO certified good manufacturing practices suppliers. Okay. So first is incorrect, first is incorrect, second is correct, two only will be the correct answer. The government has said that there is a target of opening 10,000 Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras by March next year, March 2024. Already we have 9,512 this kendras in different states and union territories. And who is the implementing agency of it? Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Bureau of India, which has been registered as a society under the Societies Registration Act of 1860, and it was also established in the same year 2008. The scheme is operated by government agencies as well as private entrepreneurs. So do not just believe that it is only run by government agencies. Private entrepreneurs can also be a participant in here. And the prices of the JAM medicines are 50 to 90% subsidized lower. Medicines are procured only from the WHO Good Manufacturing Practices certified suppliers, so that safety can be ensured. Which of the following articles in the Indian Constitution is related to the public assistance in case of unemployment? Article 39, 41, 42, 43. So, the correct answer is Article 41. The Rajasthan Assembly has recently passed a bill. The bill is the Rajasthan Minimum Guaranteed Income Bill of 2023. It will cover the entire adult population, be it urban or rural, in the state with a guarantee of wages or pension. And all families under this scheme will be able to get an employment guarantee of 125 days per year. Remember that. And a minimum pension of rupees 1000 per month in case of aged, disabled or single women. The pension will also be automatically increased at the rate of 15% each year. Remember that. And Article 41 says that the state shall, within the economic capacity and development, make effective provision for securing the right to work, for education, and public assistance in case of unemployment, age, old age, sickness, disablement, and in other cases of undeserved wants. So one thing we have to keep in mind here is, why is it written economic and economic capacity and development? It is the directive principle of state policy. When the directive principle of state policy was enshrined in the constitution, of course, at the time of independence, it was of course accepted by our forefathers, constitutional forefathers, that India is right now not capable of providing this because of economic constraints. So it was decided to keep it as a DPSP and not a fundamental right. Okay, moving on. Arrange the following states in the descending order with respect to adoption of renewable energy. That means which state has the highest adoption, and that is after that and after that. Like this, from higher to lower we have to go. Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Maharashtra. So let's see, we have to choose the correct answer using the codes. The state which has adopted at a most important pace, or at the most fast pace, is the state of Rajasthan. First Rajasthan, and it is followed by Gujarat. Then we have Tamil Nadu, then we have Karnataka, and finally we have Maharashtra. So 3, 2, 1, 4, 5 will be the correct answer. 3, 2, 1, 4, 5 is the correct answer. So Prime Minister has recently, through virtual message, said in the G20 Energy Ministerial Meet that India has achieved the non-fossil installed capacity 9 years earlier than promised. It was promised under the Paris Agreement that by 2030, we will ensure 40% of our energy consumption comes from renewable energy, non-fossil energy or renewable energy. So that is why this particular news is important. We have achieved that before the arrival of 2030. So we have revised the aim as well. Let's talk about that. India has actually set a target to reduce the carbon intensity of the nation's economy by less than 45% by the end of the decade. Earlier it was 33 to 35% of the GDP if we compare the years of 2005 with 2030. That meant that by 2030, if we compare to 2005, our carbon emission should be lessened by 33 to 35% of the GDP. This was the first promise. But we saw that we are doing great in this field. So we revised our targets last year. Now it has become 45% by the year 2030. Then we also have to achieve 50% of cumulative electric power installed by 2030 from renewables. Earlier it was 40%, and we have to achieve net zero carbon emission by 2070. Net zero doesn't mean that we are not going to emit carbons. We are going to do that at a limited rate. But whatever carbon we are emitting, we are making use of it. Either we are sequestering and storing it, or we are recycling it in a manner that it becomes a part of our economy, that it becomes net zero. Okay. So India saw the highest year-on-year growth in renewable energy addition in 2022, and it was 9.83%. India stands at the 4th number when it comes to total renewable power capacity addition. We are 4th in the world. And when it comes to installed capacity of solar and wind power, we are 4th in the world here as well. Other than this, the amount of non-hydro renewable energy, here the biggest one is solar power. Then we have wind power, then biomass cogeneration, small hydropower, and finally waste to energy. I have excluded this as per rules. Rajasthan and Gujarat are at the forefront when it comes to adoption of renewable energy. Then we have Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. These four states make up 70% of the renewable energy installed capacity in the whole world. Sorry, in the whole of India, not the world. Sorry for that. And the three states with the slowest adoption include Manipur, Tripura, and Goa. Next, consider the following countries. Ukraine. These kind of questions I do in the map in news series. So do see that particular episode, the class that will premiere tomorrow. Ukraine, Russia, Poland, Estonia, Germany. How many of the above mentioned countries share a border with Belarus? So these are the options. Recently, Vladimir Putin has made a threat to Poland saying that if you're going to bully Belarus, it will be like a bully to us. So that is why this question has been asked. Also ensure that whenever you are going to avail, please do avail the P2I batch now, because today is the date we have launched. Use the code PDLive. PDLive. Okay. Whenever you will use this code for any particular course, you will get a high discount. The courses which are supposedly for P2I 70,000, but if you're going to use PDLive, you will get it for 29,999 only. Okay. So let us see the map, then only we will be able to understand. This is Belarus, which is a landlocked country. It is landlocked by 5 countries. Russia is one of them. Of course, Ukraine, then Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia. Alright, so let us see the options. First, Ukraine is correct, Russia, Poland, but not Estonia and Germany. So 4 and 5 are out of the picture. 3 countries only, 3 only will be the correct answer. The PDF will be made available on my Telegram channel. Do subscribe to it. Thank you so much for watching.